31 days, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. I'm still struggling to know what to do. I'll get there though.
I was just thinking that when it comes to creating and painting, I have no problems. I could create all day, but that's marketing stuff.
Yeah, well, if it was easy, we'd all be well known, wouldn't we?
Oh, yes,
exactly.
So, let's wait a few more minutes.
What is that?
It sounds
a fan. I don't know what's going on. It just keeps on.
What, on your computer?
Yeah, on my Mac. I think I need to take it to be serviced or something.
My husband had to have the fan replaced in his computer recently.
Oh, really?
They do go wrong, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was always making that whirring noise. New fan fixed it.
Okay, all right then. That's.
And he's got a laptop, but I don't think he's expensive either.
Okay, so was it a Mac?
It wasn't. It's not a Mac. No, it's a PC of some kind. Not quite sure what he's got, but
Mac.
Yeah. I mean, the only issue for him was that he took it in the day that the Russians were supposed to have hacked us. So all these people flooded in with their computers, and they were all. My husband has said, "Oh, I'm in no particular hurry," thinking it would be a couple of days, and it finished up being about 10 days. But he has 4 computers on his desk. He managed.
Oh yeah. Going to the Apple store is a nightmare.
Oh, isn't it just?
I'm looking forward to that.
You know, when I was in China, I saw what seemed to be an Apple store on every corner.
Really?
I mean, literally blocks and blocks. And then, I said, that pisses me off. We only have one in all of Washington, D.C. What is going on? I thought that they weren't Apple stores. They're knockoffs.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
They took their, the all-white, black, reflective surfaces and everything. It was just...
Oh, my goodness.
There's Marianne.
Good morning, afternoon, evening. Hello.
That's got that covered then, doesn't it?
Yeah. I hope you're feeling better today, Allison.
What was wrong with me the other day?
You sounded exhausted and like you just kind of reached the end of your rope.
Yeah, I was tired. Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine.
Good.
I've started taking a watercolor class.
And how is it?
Hard.
Really?
Yeah, that actually takes some skill to do that.
Doesn't it,
It's challenging.
Yeah. Well, to do it well, I mean, I know how to use watercolor, but to this woman that's teaching me is amazing, absolutely amazing. And it's just so different from using oil and acrylic.
Yeah.
Although I know what to do and I can get paint on the paper to create what she creates, and I'll get there. She said to me today, "Why are you bothering?" I said, "Because I want to master it." She went, "Oh, you can't ever master it." I went, "Okay, I want to be almost as good as you then."
Wow.
Well, the funny thing is that I've been really good at watercolor for a long time because I used to use it. I used to do renderings in watercolor of buildings and interiors, and I used to be quite good at it. In fact, taught it for many years. And then after I turned to abstract acrylics, I let it go, and I picked up, somebody had wanted me to do a rendering of their house the way I used to do it. And it's that if you don't keep up that skill set, sorry, you forget. And
yeah.
The biggest trick to it is, knowing how much water's on the paper and how much water's on the brush. And I just was horrible. I said, I'm not going to take the commission. Thank you very much. I don't do that anymore. After I had made like 3 or 4 valiant attempts, and just said, no, I'm not at the skill set I used to be. And boy, I'd like to be equipped the way I was, but I don't have the time, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I just figured it was like a little treat to myself. If I go to this 2-hour class once a week and, you know, do what I can do, it'll keep it up. She's a nice lady. Yeah. And then I'll just come home and do my other stuff.
You know, that skills getting rusty thing applies to a lot of stuff. I quit doing faux finish really 3 years ago, and I tried to fit a job in, and I was so disappointed with myself. One, you become very efficient with your use of materials, with your skill. I mean, it's just, you're fast. Trying to put a job in about a year after I'd quit, even just that long, and I'd lost my skill set. And I realized you either do this or you're not doing it. So I started giving other people's names out, because I thought I can't do this anymore unless I'm going to be fully committed, because those skills become rusty. You know, I did trompe l'oeil. You have to go back through those multiple steps to get yourself to that kind of precision again. And it's like, you have to walk away. I mean, you cannot take this stuff on after you've quit. Unless you're going to throw yourself completely into it.
I'm not doing it so that I can sell watercolors. I just want to be able to. I figure there's going to be a point in my degree when I get to the painting part on level 2 where I'm going to have to show a level of skill. Yeah. And therefore, if I start now, then I'll have, you know, I'm never going to crack it completely, but at least I'll be good enough and they can't give me bad marks.
What degree are you taking again?
Fine art.
Fine art. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Super. Something, but I didn't know what you were doing. Yeah. That's so fun. Is it?
Sorry? It's no. No, it's not fun at all.
Really? Oh.
It should have been. When I took on the course, it was the old star degree course that we had in this country, where you in your first year you studied 3 subjects, in the second 2, and then finally and you specialised in 1. You still do 3 in your first year. So I did painting, printmaking, and sculpture. Hated sculpture, absolutely hated it, just because of what they wanted us to do. So it was so prescriptive. But what they've done is they've changed the degree, so you now don't specialise in the final year. I have to do the 2, so it'll be painting and printing, which I'll do for my second year and my third year. And then they have this whole thing. You have to write your 30,000 word dissertation, and then there's a whole thing on extending practice beyond the degree. Oh, and I'm thinking, really? By then, because I've got 8 years to finish this degree, by then I will be earning more money from my paintings than a lot of them put together. And I've then got to go through this course, which is going to be absolute crap, because most art degree courses don't know how to teach you how to sell after the end of your degree. And it's just going to be a joke, really, isn't it? But hey ho. I'll tick the box. Move on.
Okay, so I don't know what we all need, but I have one proposition. Would it be a good idea to have some goals?
To have some what?
Goals.
Goals.
Accomplish.
Goals.
Goals. Goals. Yes.
Goals.
Goals. Before the end of the year, just something to say, okay, we did it.
Yes. And I thought you articulated some of them, Shirley, when you were posting, and I thought, I have to tell you, the first time I read through your list, I went, oh my God, this is ambitious. But then And on second thought, I said, no, that's really a good idea to do this and to market it and to do all the things that we supposedly had learned. And I mean, Allison, I know you've done it all, but for those of us who haven't done our funnel or our lead magnets, that is a good thing to do. And so I'm willing to take it on. But are you talking now about creating a timeline? You know, if we are, because I wasn't necessarily going to start putting these on Instagram or Facebook until they were done. But by the same token, if what I'm doing is trying to teach and to go through and pick up the scraps of paper that say it's going to be high horizon, warm color, you know, and emphasis on line, then maybe I should be doing that each and every day to create some buzz. But I just am not quite ready to do that. But yet, maybe for me, the goal is doing it at least once this week, because I've been completely inactive on either my Facebook page or Instagram. I haven't done anything. And the rest, yeah.
I think the question I would ask you is, what would make you feel ready?
Probably just doing it and not having people unsubscribe or just saying, I don't want to unfollow me, rather, just doing it. And also feeling comfortable about the work. Oh, there's your son. About the work, because I had hit a spot, and I still mean to. I'm going to send you that those 9 rules of quality. I forgot to do it last week, but right now I just don't know that my quality is up there. But all yesterday I gave myself to. I was in the studio and I just painted the entire day, which was great. It's what I've missed. I just saw a fly on this. I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, I think flies are drawn to acrylic paint. Have you found that to be true? Anyway, so I'm starting to get where I like the process again. And you know what was really helpful, and thank you, Allison. I looked at Alice Sheridan, some of her YouTube videos. God, she's good. I mean, her presence when she does the demo, she is really quite effective. And yeah, did you see those, Shirley Ann or Marianne?
No, what are you talking
No,
no. To look at them, because she's very good, and I love, because it's hard to, and I have to do it all the time, that I'm painting and explaining to people that come in here what I'm doing. But it's like, if the verbal goes, the creative shuts down, and vice versa. So it's sort of trying to be two-headed and at the same time executing really nice work. I don't know. I like her work a lot.
Is that the link you posted in the group, Allison?
Yeah, I posted Alice Sheridan, Karen Stamper, and Soraya French, and they all did the course with Nicholas Wilton, not this year, but last year. And all 3 of them are absolutely flying.
Wow.
I did contact Nicholas. I haven't had a reply to say that a group of us had met as a result of Alex's course, and then reminded him that the reason that I went to Alexis was because of him in the first place. And I said, if we've been made well aware of how this whole affiliate program works, and would you consider, if we came as a group to your sessions next year, giving us that affiliate discount? And I'm waiting to hear. I haven't heard anything back yet.
What is his normal price for his class?
It's $2,000.
Okay.
So, if we all got it for $1,500, it would just It would just make it feel a bit more, I don't know.
Yeah. And especially since I had also turned to Alexis from having been on Nicholas's website, never got the gift he promised.
Oh, did you?
He promised he had an offer, so, and I don't know that any of us did we?
No, I didn't get anything.
Yeah, I didn't either.
No.
So
But
all of you came from Nicholas.
I did.
And why didn't you take his course? Why did you take Alexis's?
It just, the timeline.
Okay.
I'd got a deadline for my degree that I physically couldn't do it.
Okay. All right. I was just curious.
I came to Alexis's course through Amira Rahim, Instagram for Artists, last summer.
Okay. So back to goals. To have something. I'm just thinking we meet in December and say, okay, this thing that I said I wanted to do, I did it. Or my shop, I sold, something, anything, just something that we're walking towards. We're supporting each other and getting there. And to be able to say, we did it, it worked, it didn't, whatever. So that's what I'm proposing today. There's another seed I wanted to plant in our psyche. I follow so many artists and I'm like, wow, how do these people do it? It's like they plan a year ahead.
Yeah.
I've never done that, but I'm sure. So they're ready for Christmas sales right now. And I know they've started posting, and as soon as Christmas is over, they're going to wait for like a week and start talking about Valentine's Day, just like a retailer. And I hate to compare artists to retailers, but this is what they're doing and they're succeeding. They're going along with the buying. So that's just something I thought to mention, which we could tackle and maybe have a plan for next year.
Yeah. Brilliant idea.
So maybe we'll talk about that on another call. But for today, I just want us to, tell each other what would be the most amazing thing to accomplish before the end of the year, and support each other getting there. That was all for the day.
Silence.
Well,
the most amazing thing for me would be that somebody would walk through that door and buy every single piece of art I've ever made. That ain't going to happen.
Well,
but I'm taking steps. I just signed up to Saatchi's yesterday. They keep sending me emails saying, exhibit as an artist. So I've done that. I posted, I don't know if you're friends with me in my normal Facebook group, but I posted and asked people just to go on and follow me in Saatchi, because the more people that follow me, the more Saatchi will push my page.
So post so that we can all follow you.
I'll post it in this group.
Yes.
Yeah, do that.
We'll all follow you. So
I've thought about Saatchi too.
I've had one person follow me. I thought, come in heck. Come on, guys. All you need to do is press follow.
Well, there are 4 of us. How many of us here? 4 of us. So you'll get 4.
Yeah, that was fun. Fabulous. Fabulous. I feel I'm nibbling away at things. I'm not taking great big chunks out of anything at the moment, but I've got a show this week. Starts on Thursday. I've got a week's break, and then I've got another show, and then I've just signed up to do another big show down in our county town in November. I just finished the first teaching group, which was great. So I've got 3 more people to go on my email list. I've got the next course starting in November, and I've booked to do this massive show next year. So, and then I suddenly, I need to get on Saatchi. I've Artist and Illustrator is a magazine that happens here that I subscribe to anyway. I've put my own work up there, and I'm just doing that kind of ticking over kind of stuff with all of the outlets there are. So the magazine, Saatchi's, my Facebook, my Instagram. I still can't get my head around Twitter. But so I just feel as if I'm nibbling at things. I don't know if I should be taking giant, chunks out of it, but
You definitely are. Are you? Oh my God, you are. So, is there one thing that you would like to say?
I would like to sell a piece of work from my website.
Mhm.
That's what I really want to do. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you have things listed on your website?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
right
And
now, getting that going.
sorry.
No, so right now it's just about getting the traffic and the funnel
Yeah.
and
I had a little win today. I just came back home from this class today, and somebody has subscribed to follow my blog. Yay! I don't know who they are. So I now have 3 people that are subscribed to my blog.
they're in the funnel.
No, they're not, actually. They've come via WordPress.
Oh.
So that's not me at all. They've somehow found me via WordPress. I don't quite understand what I'm doing, how that happened, but I'll take it.
Yes, yes, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
So yours is to sell something on your website. So all the steps you can take to make that happen. That's what you're doing it.
Yeah.
And what it's going to do. Okay. That's fair. And anything we can do to support, for example, following you on Sachi, just tell us. And if there's anything else we can do, tell us. And we'll do it.
Brilliant. Okay, that'd be good. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, Beata,
Me?
accomplished before the end of the year.
I also would like to sell something from my website online. In reality, I had more than 70 abandoned carts on my Wix site.
How many abandoned cards?
More than 70.
7?
Yeah. And at the beginning, I cleared way too strict fraud rules, so no one could go through it. So then I discussed it with Braintree, and they looked through it, and I modified, but still I couldn't sell anything from my Wix website.
So this means
And why?
there's interest.
Whether so I have no idea about the reason. That might be the way how the Wix site is developed is not really good for an online sale. That can be the reason. Or I have no idea why I had so many abandoned carts.
And is Wix designed in such a way that you can identify who abandoned the cart?
No, I have no idea who was.
And over what period of time?
No.
Over what period of time? Within, I don't know, 3 or 4 months.
That's a lot.
Yeah, very lot.
That's a lot. So this tells me there's interest, but there's something that's stopping them from pushing. What could it be? Do you have any ideas?
No, I have no idea. I put a message box there that they can send a message if they have any question or remark, or I also put a chat box just to be able to find out.
This is fascinating. I know studies have been done, and there are all these strategies when it comes to abandoned shopping carts. I don't know what they are, but definitely something to look into, because if people have come that far, there's something that's not letting them cross the finish line.
Yeah.
What do think about I know that we've all bought things online. What usually stopped us from finishing the sale? I mean, I have to go back to, usually I add up all the things I've thought I wanted to buy, and the price tag ends up being more than I wanted to spend. or I shouldn't commit to this sale right now because all of a sudden I remember something else that I was supposed to be paying for right now. I think that's the closest thing we can question is ourselves. Why do we usually stop?
Yes. Well, yesterday I was online trying to buy something and I got to the cart and it then added £15 onto the price for delivery, at which point I just came straight out because I'm not paying £15. I'd only spent £15 in the first place. I wasn't spending. So that literally happened to me last night.
Okay. Yeah, but but the shipping prices is listed on the same page as my painting.
Okay, cool. Good.
I know
that shouldn't be.
I liked, because I like hiding a lot of my purchases from my husband. I like buying everything through PayPal. Because it's private, And so I find that the times that I've abandoned a cart have been when I haven't had access to PayPal. It's usually on a Squarespace website. And I realize I have to use my card instead of PayPal, and I leave. So that's been something I've done.
Yeah, but they can use the PayPal as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a mystery.
Yeah.
What about
same reason for me? PayPal, lack of access to PayPal, and this is not because I'm hiding it from anybody, but lack of PayPal has caused me to drop more things. Because that's the simple. I don't want to put my card number in. I don't want to, give them any information I don't have to give them.
Yes, I use PayPal because I do the same. So if PayPal is not available, I'm more likely left it.
Can you post the link to your shop on our?
Yes, I can.
Well, let's experience it and see. Let's see what the experience is like.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Michelle, have you abandoned carts and why?
Pardon me?
Have you attempted to purchase something and?
Yeah, yesterday I was buying art supplies. They supposedly were having a sale. And just when I was getting ready to check out, I went to a competitor's website and found out that their pricing was cheaper. So that's why I abandoned my cart. But usually it is more what Marianne had said about realizing that I really couldn't afford to spend what I was thinking I could spend, and
we have to solve this mystery because 70 plus, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That amount of interest and not see it through, that's a lot. If it was 5 something, but 70 is a lot.
Yeah.
Let's do some digging. So yes, your goal is to make a sale from your website.
Yes, that would be.
What do you think has to be done? Off the top of your head, what do you think has to be done in order to?
So now I'm doing this affiliate marketing. So when it's going to be finished, I will wait for a week. Then I'm going to send out my sales series, and that's also possible to add an with shop in Wix site. So I'm going to open this one for my figurative art, and I will try that with the sales series. And I'm doing the October challenge. So sometime in November, I'm going to create another sales series with my abstract pieces. So I think that's the way I will go. And if I will have some more time, not sure that I will, because I have some sick family members and I need to deal with them. But if I will, I'm going to try the prints here and check out the quality. And if it works well, then I'm going to offer some prints. But first, I really need to try.
Okay. Okay. So, apart from helping to solve the mystery, how can we support in accomplishing any of your goals?
That you are here, that's already a support for me. So you help me keep going, and that's great.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Okay. So, is there anything else?
Nothing. No.
Thank you. Okay, Marianne. Um, I don't know
Hey,
what your answers,
I'm a
but
little I'm a little mentally disengaged. I'm having to get back to thinking about it. I've played hostess for the last 4 days
Oh
and
boy.
then had a separate birthday party last night, so I'm kind of like mind scattered. Um, I think right now something that's really important for me is to work on the development of the new product. It's a new theme in my painting that I want to explore. That's right now feels like a good time to do that. I'd like to, before the end of the year, have some kind of lead magnet
mm-hmm.
pages that are easy, understand it, get it in place, offer something to get an email. I think that's a real thing for me to decide by the end of the year, just so that I can gather email. So SurveyMonkey, I've already downloaded. I have not engaged, so I've got some studies to do on that to help begin to set that up. Those are reasonable things that no matter what I choose to do, I think are going to be um, worth doing. Uh, Again, I mentioned this about 10 days ago. I'm trying to leave open a period of time to travel this fall, and there's been discussion whether or not it'll actually come into play. I don't know. My partner has become less mobile, and I'm trying to get him to do something before he becomes immobile. So that's a wild card, and we are talking about it. And if we go, it could be 2 to 3 weeks that we go and do some in country travel somewhere.
Yeah.
But new product development and get the lead pages thing set up on SurveyMonkey. That's a practical result. As far as selling and being involved with the day-to-day October challenge, I I can see myself getting active with doing some small pieces to try to just get into the habit of doing something small. I don't currently see putting them up for sale. It'd be more of an experiment for me, with the possibility of putting them up for sale later. Maybe if I do have an open house in April, coming spring, they would probably be some be on display and for sale at that time. But I'm more in development right now than I am in sales minded.
Okay.
Um, that just feels like the most. That feels like the right feel like I'd be stepping out and trying to rush something if I put it up for sale. I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to commit to the website thing. I have an old one that never got launched that now after this course I realize is really an antiquated approach anyways. So it's my intention is to toss that. But I'm looking at a Shopify and it will be an investment if I do it. And I have to watch every investment with, take with care. So I just had I just had somebody over the weekend who I was entertaining. I only see him about twice a year. Wanted to know what my website was now so they could go see it. And it's just another one of those like being poked. You realize, well, this has been going on for years. They've been asking me. So, uh, I'm just going to have to step through it where I'm at, and we will see. If anything, if this development goes well, then around the first of the year, by the end of the year, I'm hoping to set something in motion on Shopify so that I'm prepared by the time I have an open house in April, so that I've got a better sales loop in place than I've had in the past.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
Okay. That sounds very reasonable.
Can I question you a bit on this, Marianne?
You can do it.
First, do you have anybody, or do you know anybody that's like young, a kid that could do this for you, the website?
Well, the Shopify thing is not that difficult. I mean, they really have it all set up for you just to plug stuff in.
Okay.
This is more a matter of me deciding on the financial commitment. Then I'm sure I could probably hire somebody from Upwork or whatever to do this sort of thing for me if I really wanted them to, you know, and that might be an answer, you know, to just move everything along more quickly. But
Yeah.
I guess my disappointment with the old website was that it just doesn't fall in the range of what seems to be most effective. So I just decided I don't want to put any more energy toward it.
Okay. My son has, as you know, has helped me enormously, but he's also built websites for a couple of other people. And I'm not offering him, don't worry, that's not where I'm coming from on this, because he's far too busy. But the big thing that people need to realize when they are setting up a new website is you still have to provide all the photographs.
Mm-hmm.
So actually,
the quality of the photographs.
While you're getting all of that sorted out, I've got a Wix site that I'm still running. I've got two. I've got WordPress and a Wix site. The Wix site I'm planning to use as a sales site, and I will treat it with the same level of respect, if you like, as I do with the WordPress site. But at the end of the day, once you've signed on the dotted line and got that site, all the mucking about and stuff that you're going to pay somebody else to do, you can do yourself really quickly, because you've got to get all those photographs together anyway.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, a lot of my photos have been taken by a professional. Again, I mentioned this before. He gave me an opportunity, and he gets his money on the back end when I sell prints, which he makes for me. But I've got a pile of photographs, some of which will be weeded out now as my style has changed. I won't put everything I've ever had him photograph in there, because I'm going to get it down to the higher quality, or what I think is the better stuff. There's some additional things that there's some additional things that need to be done. I have a young lady who has offered me free photography work anytime I want it, in trade for art advice. She's a very busy person, and she just wants to paint on the side for fun. She's not looking to get into the business of it. But I've offered to, take her under my wing and say, in trade for, I'd be happy to show you some things, and she's taken the professional shot you made the comment about, that shows up if you don't see my face here. She took that picture. She's taken photos of me 2 or 3 times that I've ended up giving to my gallery that they use of me on their website. So I've got some access to a few people who could help me. It's just I've been too scattered, and when I go forward, sounds like dragging my feet, but I have to be all in, and I haven't been this last year. I have not been all in. I'm trying to pull pieces together and decide, are we doing this or not? And I'm in that spot. I'm not done with this decision yet, but this is development time for me. That's all. And I got it on. Once you've got your photos together, it's pretty easy to pop one of those up. And the reason I chose Shopify is because they had some access to the direct shipping people that I was interested in probably working with, having some things printed. They work easily with Shopify. And I thought, okay, there you go. There's one thing, one reason.
Cool. I think you should make it a priority.
Well, it should be, yeah. If I'm going to do this open house again, this will be year number 8 coming in April. If I do it again, then I must have this thing in place.
You only need 10 pieces up.
I've got lots, but
but you only need 10. Just get 10 up there, and then once you've got 10 up there, you can park that while other stuff comes along, and then you can think, actually, no, that was really easy to put those 10 on. I'm going to put another 10 on. Set your goal as being something quite small. 10 is enough to get your work out there and people seeing it.
Yeah, it's not so much the photos, it's the written material part of it that
Right.
I've always been, when it comes to the writing, that's when things have just sort of flubbed up and I've just stopped. And I don't know, maybe that says something about my skill set. I can write. It just takes me forever to get it all, in line. I was impressed by some of the folks that were part of the course this summer who said, one woman said, it took me, 2 weeks and I finally got my about page done. And she said she worked on it all throughout that time. Um, and it was impressive when we read it. I mean, people were just amazed at what she wrote because it was so emotional. And it was so felt it had depth to it and feeling, and you knew it wasn't just some off the hat spiritual nonsense, I want to save the world kind of thing. She really did a great job with it. And I thought, well, that's the kind of thing I want to produce. So I've got bits and from months back that I've put together, but it's the same thing. I don't do multitasking very well anymore. I have to just completely do that period and nothing else. I can't split my day into I do a little of this and a little of that and a little something else in the afternoon. I have to throw myself completely into one task only. So, that's on the list. That's the written material that I've got to put together more so than the photos.
You've got your why.
Not completely. It continues to shift. And I heard something just last week. I wrote it down that I heard something that was so right on for me that it was something someone said on a podcast that I sat down and I wrote it down right away because I thought that's the best explanation I'd seen of or heard of how I feel about things. It's just that they are in a different industry, but it was a very good piece. I've been collecting all kinds of bits and pieces of information to help me think about my own circumstances with more depth.
Okay. So, you're in the developmental phase, and it's about developing your work, developing what you want to say, and that's where you are. Am I correct?
That's it.
Perfect. So, how can we support you? Is there anything we can do?
um, I I think it just by the end of the year to get landing some kind of landing pages and SurveyMonkey in place to collect and offer people something.
Okay.
This is going to fly by between now and the end of the year. It always does, and especially if I go away for several weeks, it will it will press on me more
Okay.
to get whatever done I can before the end of the year. Those are just the simplest tasks, and I'm trying to paint whenever I manage to throw
So,
myself completely in.
so, for example, with the lead magnet, is that a conversation you'd like to start having to see what it is that you would like to put out there to,
What
um,
I'd like to give away
you
in
know,
trade.
be anything, And I find, um, being on this journey, I find that the stronger the lead magnet is, the more connected the lead magnet is to our why, the more,
Okay.
um, the more possibilities there are going to be to attract the people we want in our world. So
Yeah.
okay. So Michelle,
Yeah, I was just going to ask Marianne if it would be helpful if we read what she wrote, and just give some review. I'm a good editor. I may not be the best writer, but I am a good editor.
I appreciate that, and I will put up what I get down in a unit. I could share if I can find where it is. I'd share what I. Well, I'm on a website. My gallery's website has
Okay.
a very short little blurb. I'm actually at Ellen Taylor Interiors and Design. If you take that down, you can go see that blurb right now. I've got to find it amongst all my pile of loose papers otherwise, but it's Ellen
And Taylor
Tayl Ellen Taylor Interiors and Design
is
on her website. under artists, you will find Marianne Haven, and I'll come up and you'll see what she's chosen to show of my artwork. And it's only the most recent work. It's the most abstract of no abstract landscapes, just abstract expressionism. And there is a blurb that I wrote last year to give her, and that was the core of what I had to say. And it was after this class that I realized, well, I'm going to have to say more than that. So that would be a quick thing to go see what I have up online right now. That's what's present.
Okay. If you could post the link.
I'll see how to, I don't even know how to post a link.
We'll find
I guess I could write the name down and see if something comes up.
Is it TAYLOR or TAIL?
Yes. TAYLOR.
Yeah.
Okay, I found you.
See, it's that easy.
Not easy. I can't read it all now because there's quite a lot there, but nice photo.
Yeah, it's a paragraph.
Yeah.
But that's the core of what I wrote last year, and I thought I just need to add to it or develop it a little further.
Do you know I have 4 bios? One is 50 words, under 50 words. One is under 100 words. One is under 500 words, and one is around 1,000. Because every time you go in for a competition or something, they want different amounts, and I don't have time to do it. So I've just written them. They're all on the same Word document. I just go in, I copy and paste. It makes life so much easier. Yeah. So when you're writing your stuff, Marianne, it's worth thinking about it in those kind of size of chunks, because different people want different amounts.
Right. One of the things I ran into is because I was a working artist for so long, and I kept running into people saying, well, maybe you don't want to tell folks everything you've done. No. Maybe you don't want them to know that you used to hang across the hood of a car and paint windshield signs, which is something I painted about 10,000 of those so that I wouldn't have to work behind a desk for somebody and could make my own schedule. Now, back in the late 1980s, there was a writer that had a book published, and she talked about the fact that she'd done the very thing that I did for years. As she was writing, she was paying her bills, doing this type of signage that I used to do. There's people come at this from an academic standpoint. They come at it from a no, I've never had any training standpoint, and you get all kinds of views on what you should tell folks and what you shouldn't. So I've had so many opinions come at me that it kind of stopped me from writing altogether until I wrote that blurb on that web to give the gallery owner. That was the best thing I've come up with. Beyond that, when I start giving information, I start to hesitate again. How much do I tell? Because some of this isn't attractive. It's grit, this is hands dirty grit,
You only tell people what you feel comfortable telling them. It's none of our business what you
but there's not that much. I spent most of my time in jeans or overalls with my hands in plaster, doing thousands and thousands of square foot of faux finish. They don't, how do they equate that with you have value as a fine artist? That's
what you have is years and years of experience. So you have to kind of glorify that.
Well, yeah, I know that. I know.
Just put a positive spin on my stocking trade. This is how I got to where I am because this is my history. This is how I got to where I am now. Fabulous training underpinned everything that I know now, and now I've been able to take my business and do blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Well, I've got a format I'll copy out. I'll just make sure I get a hold of something, and I'll show you what I had to say about it. And I still don't think it's a great presentation, but it goes into some of that detail. I'll see if I can't find it, and I'll share that with you so that you can see what I would say. But that's it, folks.
All right, Michelle.
Okay, well, my list is very long because I don't really feel like I've completed anything yet. And of course, the start of the list is finishing the commissions, but then doing an Instagram post. Let's commit to doing one per week. I do want to do a studio sale, but I'm just trying to think of, because that is one thing that I promised in Alexis's course, to earn the 10 grand in 3 months. I was going to have a studio sale. So maybe I can make that for Black Friday, which is only, a little bit more than a month away. That's for those of you who don't live in the States, Black Friday is the Friday after Thanksgiving, which is the
third Thursday in November.
Uh-huh. And then what I also want to do is what I'd be posting on Instagram are these small works. So I want to follow the outline, Shirley Ann, that you did, and get going on that. I've done 4 small works, although only 2 count for this class, because our group, because I'd already started 2. I went back into the other 2 yesterday, the 2 that I'd started before this group, and added some more detail, and did 2 new.
Okay, I think you're breaking up.
Oh, yeah, that's my Wi-Fi, and I'm sorry. Yeah, maybe next time I can do it from home, but I'm in the studio today, and there are a lot of people here because it is a holiday. So when there are more people here, it taxes our Wi-Fi system.
But it's better. You're back.
Okay, well, the 2 people that were in my studio just left. So they're closer to the source, so that's what happens.
Okay. You're back.
And the course, of course, because that's that's really what I have always intended to sell through my website. So, and I've just got to get that. I was so in awe of watching these Alice Sheridan videos, because she's very engaging, and I thought, boy, I've got to bump the quality up on what I'm up to. But that's it for me.
Can I just tell you that Nicholas Wilton is doing a series of free classes at the moment on Facebook. It's worth following him as well for that.
Can you post the link, please?
Yeah, okay.
And in fact, he's doing a critique today.
Yeah.
At 3 p.m. my time, which would be what, 9 p.m. your time?
It's late. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on. He's midday Pacific time. So you're
So it's 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm EST.
Yes.
12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8 o'clock tonight.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Please post the link and all. Okay. So. Yes, please.
Oh, he's been invaluable, because even though these are lessons that I've actually even taught, sometimes hearing it in another form, in another way, in another manner, it has been revolutionary. I've gone back at all these paintings that I know there is something wrong, and just looked at value, because that's all he's been talking about so far, value. And just saying there isn't enough value contrast, and it's not like nothing's winning. It's all midtones, and it's kind of boring. So that's been very helpful. And so along with this 9-point on quality that I'll send to the group, it seems like Alice and I'm in much the same place. There's so many pies in the air, balls in the air. I mix my metaphors all the time. Balls in the air that I don't know what I'm going to drop and what I'm going to actually move forward with. But let's just take on the Instagram, the small works, the commission, and for now. And the studio sale. Yeah.
So yes.
Okay, so with a studio sale, is it going to be dependent on the factory, or do you have to create your own audience?
Is it connected to the factory? No, it would be my own.
So,
We have a holiday event here for the Christmas season that is a weekend or two following that I would put up the small works for that event,
so
and it will tell you about that.
have you had a studio sale before?
No.
Okay. Okay.
I want to get rid of old work.
Okay. So,
Including some.
so how do you plan? What's your plan for generating?
To send out a flyer to an email campaign to my buyers, because it would be a thank you, a gratitude sale, more or less, that I'm trying to make room
Okay.
and get on with what I need to get on with. For those of you who like my work from a past, because my work has changed too, that these are going to be offered, and sort of giving them a sneak preview of what will be offered, and maybe tell a tale or two about each piece. I don't know. Depends on how involved it is, but sort of give them an overview, and then maybe the detail behind one piece. But have even, say, some of my representational watercolors, which I can't typically sell here because that's not what I do now, and that's not what I juried in with. But
yeah. Okay. So it sounds like you have a plan for the studio sale, and everything else is a work in progress.
is already what?
It's a work in progress.
Yes, except that, I think I have a plan for the Instagram too. I just have to avail myself of the dates again.
Okay. All right. So with Instagram, I've spent a lot of time on Instagram taking courses, but if I had to talk to myself at the beginning, I would identify an artist whose style of posting I like and just do what they're doing.
That's a good idea.
Yes. So, do you follow? Are there any artists you follow who you like?
I so rarely get on Instagram. I'm more often on Facebook, and only really since the course have I been on Facebook, because whole half days can be consumed.
Yeah.
Social media, that's sort of frustrating, because I look and say, oh my God, how do people do it?
Yeah.
So I don't want to be as focused on Facebook as I have during this course, but by the same token, I recognize what an incredible platform it is, and potentially, it's a way of driving your numbers up, is what I never knew or never used Pinterest either. And all of a sudden I see I have all these followers on Pinterest. I'm going, what is that about? I mean, how did they even acquire my stuff? And they've taken things from my website and put it on, or taken studio shots in my studio and posted it. And I'm kind of going, wow, people are just amazingly facile at getting things out there. The surprise.
Yeah. So do you have a following on Facebook or Instagram? Like, is
I only just did my Facebook Michelle Hoban Art since I took the course, and I haven't really done much with that either. So I've got to thank you, Beata, for following me. I need to have something, put something on there to be followable. But but there again, like that's, you guys are going to be the test. You are going to know when I'm doing it, when I'm doing my homework.
Yeah.
okay? So what can we support you with?
Let me know when I'm not following what I said I was going to do. Once a week, I'll figure out, maybe on Sundays Same with Nicholas. You know, I seem to be on my computer more that day than most. Yeah, just because it's a non-painting day or a small painting day. Yesterday I painted a lot. That's good.
That's good.
Okay. All right. So, so your goals, the studio sale, finishing your commission, and like the rest of us, getting things going.
Yeah.
Those are the two big ones.
Those are the
Those are the two big ones.
yes. Thank you. And Shirley, what about you?
Oh God. I have a lot going on, and I find that um, that's how I thrive. I think I thrive more with all these things as compared to trying to focus on one. It's what it is. So I've accepted that. Um, for the challenge, I'm focusing on four of my, I'm not even calling them brands anymore. They're collections, really. And yes, I have a separate Instagram for each collection because visually they look good together, right? So for the challenge, my challenge is this is one of my big challenges. I have people who follow me everywhere, which is wonderful, and I know who they are. But for people who are following me, let's say just for my roses, I'm thinking that for this challenge, I have to create a separate lead magnet
Mm-hmm.
because they followed me for my roses, right? And nurture them just for the roses. And maybe a time will come when they finally get to the shop or the website, and then they'll see everything else. And if
Mm-hmm.
they want to engage with everything else, fine, but not to overwhelm people, because that's been my problem online. I'm not overwhelmed. I enjoy this madness, but I realize when I try to put everything in one box, my audience gets overwhelmed. They kind of get confused. So one of my goals is to, it's like the buckets with Ryan Levesque.
Yeah.
Identify the buckets and nurture each bucket as compared to trying to loop everybody into one thing. So that's one. And I do have Instagram has helped me organize myself. So now I just need to create a lead magnet for each offering. And then, so that's one goal. Um, the other goal is I'm really truly understanding the value of nurturing a community. Um, as I'm experiencing it with this other group that I'm in. And this weekend, one of my dearest friends came to visit, and every time she comes to visit, we play, you know. And I realize I can play with her, photograph her, force her to paint, do whatever, because there's a relationship. When I think about these cold leads, like, you know, even with my photography, I know everything I have to do to market my photography, but when I think about marketing to strangers and having strangers come to my house to photograph, I stop it. I block it. I don't want to do it. You know, and so I'm talking about this because I'm seeing how creating a community, creating these relationships is going to make me comfortable to um, open up and say, "Oh, I can do this. I can do that." So my my greatest goal is to begin this community. You know, begin this community, and again, Chris, my coach, is modeling to me how this can be done very easily, pleasurably, with no stress. and still make money from nurturing the community, even though it's not a lot. Instead of putting all his free stuff out there, this free Facebook group, free this comment, just attract people who really aren't as engaged as you would like them to be. So those are my two big ones: to begin this community, and then the other one is to continue with the challenge, which is actually serving as a foundation for these different collections. So those are my two things. And another thing which I'm struggling with is I realize it doesn't look good when something is in a store forever and it's not selling. It's what it is, right? But after a lot of investigation, I realized that with prints, prints are in numbers, so nobody knows how many prints you. And so this has become a great motivating factor for me to have the prints as the evergreens in the store, and then launch these collections from time to time, build the momentum and then launch a collection here. Build the momentum and then launch a collection there. But then have the prints in the store as these evergreens, and then I'm not going to be worried about what sold, what didn't sell, how long this has been there. So that's another something I have to focus on, getting the prints. So three things. One, the community. Two, the different lead magnets from each collection, and three, prints.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And how can we...
Is there anyone who needs to sit down and get work done? And I'm asking because it would be really nice if someone needed to finish the about page or finish a lead magnet, and we could sit together on the computer and say, okay, I wrote one sentence, here's mine. And
there soon. I'm not there yet, but I'll be there.
Okay, so because I get distracted. Being able to sit down, and it's like everything is here, it's ready to go. I just need to sit down and get it done. So if I had a partner in crime who was doing the same thing, so that would be one. Yeah, that's.
I think Marianne's your candidate, isn't she?
Pardon?
I think Marianne.
Together. I mean, part of my problem is I don't have a laptop. I don't have computer or internet at home. I've got my cell phone only. Mm-hmm. So I have to go somewhere else to be able to use a computer. That's part of my challenge.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd be happy to talk to you further about those lead pages and what we say when we do that.
Okay. So yeah, we can continue. We can focus on maybe lead pages or lead magnets and one. So
yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone would like to talk about?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful week.
Bye.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.